I had such a fun experience this morning at the Enclave apartments where I used to live in Kansas City, in Leawood, Kansas. And Joel has given me millions of experiences in that apartment and all of my apartments, pretty much. I've had many, many, many experiences. But so this one, I was at the Enclave, and I guess I could do a second video. I mean, I could merge the video to try to show the inside and the outside. I could do that tomorrow, but called the maybe I always pronounce it Enclave. The Enclave. It may be Enclave, but I pronounce it the Enclave. And they were considered luxury apartments, but I got a good deal on mine. Mine was about 700. I think it was about 765 square feet. But, you know, I mean, I liked it. It seemed pretty big, you know, just because it had vaulted ceilings. So the ceilings were really high. So that was kind of cool. But it was, you know, it was big enough for, like for me, it was big enough, you know. And I did have 3 cats at the time, but it was still big enough for me and my 3 cats. I was supposed to only have 2, but I had 3. Now, in the scenario, well, in this scenario, there wasn't any cats or anything. But, well, that's because I wasn't living there at the time. But anyway, so the scenario started off. Okay, wait, hold on. It was like me and about 6 or 7 other co-workers. It's like we were visiting this, we were visiting my ex apartment. We were visiting it, and we were going to stay here for several days for whatever reason. And, but there was already another guy that had already lived in it, my ex apartment. So it's just all kind of funny. But anyway, so basically, it started out, there was like Julie, me, Nancy, my boss, 2 or 3 other people, 2 or 3 other employees. And we were just kind of roaming around the living room. And the scenario, I mean, it was, in the scenario, it was pretty much almost 100% identical to to the real apartment that I lived in, but except it was, in the scenario, it was much bigger, with a bunch of things added. Just kind of funny, because in real life, those things, you know, weren't part of my apartment. But basically, so hard to explain these. But yeah, the layout and everything was about 100% identical. Like, hold on, shit. So like, here's the entry door. And, hold on. Well, actually, like we were the other direction, but I had my couch over here. Couch, entry door. I had a shelf right here. Big, tall shelf. And then here was the porch. The porch doors to the outside, to my patio, and to the grass and everything. And then the little hallway right here. Hallway, and then the kitchen. Well, this was all part of the living room right here. Well, not really. Yeah, just semi living room. It was all living room over here, and then the bedroom is right here. Bedroom. And then the bathroom was over here. And that was my bedroom. But anyway, in the scenario, it's kind of hard to draw because in the scenario, I was standing the other direction, this way. Well, I guess, yeah, I could still. So anyway, here's the front door. Okay, here's the, what do you call it? The patio doors or whatever. So anyway, it's like we were just going to stay there at my ex apartment. It was present day of 2023. And we were going to, well, at first I didn't realize we were going to stay for several days. I thought we were just going to stay, you know, like a day or whatever, and then go on and do our thing. But when I realized like we were going to stay for several days, all of a sudden, well, this time I was standing this direction. I was over here standing this direction near where this wall was in real life, where I had the couch and the shelf, and in the scenario, I mean, it was almost identical. I mean, like identical where I had all my shit and everything. And all of a sudden, Angie, my friend, was in the scenario, standing around, and she had her bag of stuff. And I looked in my bag, and I didn't have my sport bra, my black sport bra with me. I didn't have a lot of my tank tops with me or anything like that. And I'm thinking, how am I supposed to stay, many days when I don't have, all my crap together, and I don't have, all my clothes and stuff. And I remember Angie saying, well, here, look in my bag. Here's a sport bra that I have. And I was going to take one of hers, but I mean, it was only like 7 inches wide. And I'm like, that's not going to fit me. Because I do wear this real big sport bra. It's nice and spacious, and it's black. So in the scenario, it was nothing but like black sport bras and stuff. That skinny sport bra that she had. And it was like brand new, like it was on a hanger. It was like brand new. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's not going to fit me. But so that was all kind of funny. And I realized we were going to stay here for several days until we got on our way to to where we were going to go. After that, I have no idea. But it was just all me and my coworkers. But I mean, this scenario is like, there's such a blast. And Joel does this all the time. He sticks me in these apartments, my ex apartments or mansions or whatever. And there's such a freaking blast. Okay. So, and I was in this scenario for a long time too. I mean, it lasted a long time. And at one point, Julie kind of has grayish, blondish hair or whatever. And in real life, she's always kind of like, she doesn't really want to participate in anything. And so at one point, all of a sudden, okay, now I'm trying to figure out where we were standing exactly. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's the front door. It was actually, okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, it was over here. All of a sudden, this is almost like a small little movie theater room or something. That's what it seemed like. All of a sudden appeared over here, and that didn't exist in real life. All of a sudden, I had opened the door, and I realized Julie was ignoring everybody, and she was all in there sitting down in a chair, like all by herself. And I had opened the door, and I saw her way over here just by her. It was a pretty big room. It was almost like a theater room, like what you would see in a mansion, a theater, a small theater. And I just thought that was kind of funny, because, in real life, she doesn't really want to participate in anything. And so she was pretty much ignoring all of us when we were walking around talking. But yeah, it was kind of funny because, like I said, we were visiting, for whatever reason, we were visiting my ex apartment, which of course I didn't live there anymore, and it was my it was my apartment. Nobody else's apartment. For whatever reason, we were visiting my apartment, my ex apartment. And like I said, I didn't live there anymore, but there was one guy that lived here, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so there was an ordeal with me and Angie standing over here, but we were facing this direction where the arrow is. And like I say, like we were just talking. I was talking to my coworkers, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it was programmed. That part of the scenario wasn't really programmed. What we were supposed to be. I mean, I could have forgotten. That's very possible, but I think I would remember because, I remembered a lot of the scenario, like almost 100%. I think I would have remembered exactly if it was programmed to what we were going to be doing. Like after we stayed here, as far as I remember, we were just going to go shopping or something. After, we weren't going to like go back to work or anything like that. We were just visiting my ex apartment. We were going to stay here for several days and then just go out to dinner and blah, 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 as far as I remember. We weren't going to like go back to this town, and go back to work or anything like that. But anyway, so, okay, so after the ordeal with the clothes and the sport bra, and that kind of made me nervous because I'm like, how am I supposed to, I can't just wear whatever I had on. I can't remember what I had on, but I knew I couldn't just wear that every day. And I didn't have like my sport bra with me, and it was just kind of funny. And, but Joel does stuff like that all the time. And so, and then Angie, wanted me to, she tried to give me her sport bra, and I was like, that's not going to fit. And this was all very vivid too. And, okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Okay, so after the ordeal, when I opened the door and I saw Julie sitting there, with her back turned to us, we were all standing over here talking and everything and chilling out. After I closed the door and saw her in there and everything, or opened it, I saw her in there and closed the door. And as far as I remember, I did kind of make the comment. I was like, there's Julie, I'm not surprised that she's in there all by herself or whatever. I did say something like that in the scenario as I was standing there when I saw her in there. Okay, and then, wait, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Those two parts. Okay, hold on. Besides those two parts. Okay, hold on. Okay, so now, okay, hold on. But yeah, the whole time, I was just walking around my ex apartment and I'm just like, wow. It's exactly like it was just, when I lived there, exactly like it was. And, the layout and everything. But of course my cats weren't there because, it was present day. So my cats were back in this town at my house. And, okay, wait, hold on. Shannon. Okay, yeah, I do remember Shannon was in the scenario too. And, okay, so here comes the funny part. So after I was just kind of like walking around and I couldn't believe I was in my ex apartment and how the layout was exactly the same. Okay, hold on. Here's the front door. Okay, hold on. Okay, then all of a sudden, yes, I am. Okay, hold on. The parts came back to me. Okay, then all of a sudden, a big old garage. Not all of a sudden, but there's a big old garage attached this direction. Here's the front door, and there's a big old garage attached to the apartment. I mean, it goes, it doesn't overlap. I mean, whoops. Here's the big old garage. And there's the door that went, into the garage. And, I didn't mean to make it overlap, but the garage was just right here, big old garage. And eventually we walked into the garage, this direction, we walked in, and here's the front door. We walked into the garage, and we even stepped down a few steps, and it was a pretty big damn garage. Now, there was some small garages over here for people's cars and stuff in real life. Some tiny little garages, but I never rented them out. But anyway, so maybe that's why Joel got the idea. But anyway, so we walked down a few steps into the garage, and it was like me, Shannon, my boss, a couple other employees. And I don't want to forget that one part with the other door. There was another door like right there. I'll get to that in a minute. It was more like over here, but there's another door right there. But okay, hold on. So as we stepped down into the garage, I just started like looking at, it had really, really, like I say, it had really, really vaulted ceilings too in the garage. In real life, my whole apartment was vaulted ceilings. So when I started looking around the garage, and God dang it, get off me, tore it. You can't keep fucking getting on my legs and shit. Get off. Good girl. Okay, so very high vaulted ceilings in the garage. And I started looking around on the top. I mean, it was just filled full of shit. I mean, nothing but stuff. Okay, so I looked up, and all around there was these like 5 foot long cellophane wrapped, like stuffed animal type of things, like as if the tenant, the current tenant, like almost like as if he won all of that crap at the fair or something, because that's what I thought. I looked up, and there was all these 5 foot long, sitting on shelves. I mean, just one after the other, all around, like 5 foot long cellophane see-through wrapped, like stuffed animals. And I was just like, wow, he probably won all that at the fair, and they were completely brand new, unopened and everything. And then I started looking on the lower shelves, and it was just nothing but like tools and shit, like bags of tools all around on the lower shelves. But I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was like so cool. Okay, so then all of a sudden, I saw the owner, so to speak, but not the owner, the tenant, the owner / tenant. And this part is funny. But he was the current tenant, but he was never hanging out with us in here. He was in the garage. We met him in the garage. He was never out in here. Like when me and my coworkers were all conversing, it was just, we met him in the garage. He was hanging out in the garage, the big garage, with all of the, and one stuffed animal, I remember it was dark colored, like, the first stuffed animal I looked at was kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a bear, but it was darkish color. Some of the stuffed animals had some white on them, but it was kind of, dark color, like that dark right there or whatever. Yeah, I would say it was kind of looked like a bear or something, that like a panda bear sort of. That first stuffed animal that I honed in on. But I mean, it was just bam, bam. I mean, all around. And then, like I said, I started looking on the lower shelves, and it was just all tools. And I mean, the whole garage just had tons of shit in it. But it was all very tidy. all around, but it was just very, very, very just a lot of stuff, but it was all very tidy. And so finally I saw the tenant, the current tenant, and he was kind of tall, and I know exactly who Joel was trying to copy off of. It was a mixture of that guy that played in The Fly, and it was a mixture of, it was like 50% the guy that played in The Fly, and 50% that guy that worked at the Honda dealership. And he was kind of tallish, and he looked about 67. He could have been about 67 years old, anywhere between 60 to 67. And I walked up to him and I'm like, "You're a late bloomer, aren't you?" And he turned around, okay, because I was facing this way and he was facing that way too. And I saw the back of his head and I was like, "You're a late bloomer, aren't you?" And he turned around and started looking at me, and he kind of looked at me like, "What do you mean by that?" And I said, "Because I lived here when I was like 32 years old. I lived here almost 20 years ago." I told him I lived here between 2004 and 2006. And I said, and I said, I was only about 32 years old. And I said, "You're living here now and you're like 67 and it's the year 2023. But he was just kind of looking at me like, "I don't know what you mean." But I told him that. I said, "You're a late bloomer." And still I just couldn't believe how it was such a long time ago I lived here. And everything was just like exact almost, you know. And like I said, he was the current tenant and everything. And okay, so hold on, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. There's one other part I'm going to talk about, but then I'm going to try to see if I remember anything else. I mean, I know I remembered at least, 95% of this experience or more. But yeah, the first stuffed animal I honed in on was like that direction, and it looked it was like blackish with some white on it, like a black panda bear instead of a white panda bear. And then but it was just cellophane wrapped stuffed animals, all way up on the top shelves of the vaulted ceilings in the garage. Okay, there's one other part, and I mean, the only thing I'm forgetting is probably it's just a few things that we talked about and stuff. I mean, some of the coworkers, some of the stuff we said. That's the only thing I'd be forgetting. Some of the a little bit of the talking and stuff that we did up in the apartment right here. But that was so cool, that garage that was hooked on, a big garage, and then the theater room, which in real life, those two weren't part of my apartment. Okay, and then there was another thing that wasn't a part of my apartment as well, too, in the scenario. So after the garage ordeal, sorry, Tori, we're going to go night-night in a minute, and you can lay up on me, but you can't lay on my damn legs and my feet. Okay, so, okay, baby? Can't lay on my feet. It gets on my damn nerves. Like I'll be sleeping, and then all through the night, like all the cats are like trying to sleep down there, and I gotta kick them off the bed because I can't stand them on my feet, my legs like that. I think they're learned by now. But anyway, so after the garage ordeal, I walk over here, and well, here's the door, but the door was actually about right. There was another door right here, and oh, that's Myron. And he probably wants to go hang out in the bathroom, but he can go in there if he wants to. So, he always hollers this time of night. So there was a door right here, and I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, here's this door that I never did even use or utilize or anything. It was just an extra door. I'm not sure. Oh, it was an extra door that kind of went off into like a closet. And I was like, wow, here's this extra door. And, that I knew that was always there when I lived there, but it was never a door that I opened. It was never a door that I utilized. And when I looked up on the wood of the door, I was telling some of the people that were standing around me, like Angie and Shannon and a couple other coworkers, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so let me draw it here. Okay, so here's like, and it was wood. It was like a wood door. But like I say, it was over here along the wall. And I was like, wow. I was like, there's a maintenance job that had just been done. A nice little, I said, oh, wow. Like, look at the nice little maintenance job that just had been done. And what had happened was it looked like the maintenance guy somehow put some kind of like little metal rod right here. Like there was some tiny metal little rod that was embedded into the wood. But it was so funny because I was like, wow, I see, the maintenance guy did a nice little maintenance job right here. But it was fixed. I could tell it was totally fixed and everything. It's like, like he put a little rod there, I guess to keep the door shut or something. But that was kind of funny. And the whole door, it was, kind of, the whole walls, all the walls were kind of off-white. And in real life, they were all sort of off-white in real life. But that was funny. But the door was over here. I was just drawing it right there. But the door was over here. And I was standing and I was looking at the door. And I was like, wow, look at the nice little maintenance job that the maintenance man had just came and done. So that was kind of funny. And like I said, it was all very vivid. But in real life, that would make no sense whatsoever. But in the scenario, it did. And the little theater room made sense. And big old garage made sense and everything. But none of those three things was really part of the, my apartment in real life. But in the scenario, everything else, man, was like exact. I mean, and it just felt so real and everything. But it was pretty cool. But, and then a couple of days ago, no, that experience was this morning. I had to hurry up and talk about it before I forgot little details. But, was it yesterday or a couple of days? It was either yesterday morning or a couple of days ago. Well, it was Joel again. I think Joel was like posing as, a familiar guy to me. He kept picking me up. He's always like he kept picking me up. It's like we were walking into his apartment or house or something. We were going through like his bedroom, except he was posing as he was posing as a human, a very familiar human, but he kept picking me up like a rag doll or something, and he just kept like kissing me and kissing me and kissing me. And then when I looked down and everything, it's like, oh my God, I looked like a bachelor pad. It was like real clothes were thrown everywhere. It was unkempt. Like the bed was all messy and clothes was just thrown everywhere. But that was a scenario where I think Joel was actually in the scenario, except he was posing as a human. And he was like trying to kiss me and shit because he picks me up a lot. Like as if a giant person picked up a little rag doll or something. Like picked me up real high and was like kissing me and shit. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, hopefully I get a good one in the morning, man. But I could show some pictures of the indoor of that apartment. And the front of it or whatever. and I could blend it in with this video, the Enclave. But yeah, he's given me experience a million times before in this apartment, in my Prairie Village apartment, just over and over and over again. It's such a blast. Thanks for listening. Okay, let's go bed. Let's go bed. See, that's where I live, Truman. That's where I'm always having these OBE-VR lucid dreams. See, that's where I live, right there. Well, I don't know if that's the exact same building. That's not the exact same building, but close enough. And the closet was over here where I stored a bunch of shit. And over here, I always put my bicycle up against the wall. Nobody ever stole it. But I'm almost thinking I thought I tied it up to something or something. That rings a bell, but anyway, I could be wrong. But nobody ever stole it or anything.
To our amazing community amenities. We have nearby highway I-430 centers, and we're all hiking.
Just anywhere I stay, I always get all
in our state-of-the-art
OBE-VR lucid dreams.
Looking at the center and
man, I've had some blast ones in Prairie Village too. That little studio that I lived in.
Any future resident.
Oh my God.
Roman so far. We know what you're looking for.
But basically, that's it. I have plenty of pictures, you know, of my mom, my sister and stuff inside my apartment, but I'd have to find them. But yeah, it was really cool how the scenario Joe added on another, like a theater room, and then another little storage closet thing, and then the big old garage. That was kind of cool. And over here, that's where all of the little garages were, but I never did, you know, the one-car garages. I never did rent those out, though.
Call or stop by Enclave at Town Center today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Home.